ready. Ready to get in the zone. Now, you're in the red zone with your host, Gene Ponte and Joey Pender.
Well, everybody, welcome back into the red zone, brought to you by our good friend, attorney Ross Downs, Joey Pender. Gene Ponte sitting in with you here at Go Wings in Monroe, where we hope you'll come by and enjoy a great dinner. We'll, of course, bring out the spread as we rock along here on a Wednesday night, but we have got a lot to talk about. And of course, most of it centers around what happened this past week in week 7. And of course, we'll take a kind of a peek ahead at what's going on in week 8. Hard to believe we're that far along, but 3 teams, West Monroe, Oak Grove, Haynesville, still undefeated. The probably most impressive win had to have happened up in the Grove.
It was unbelievable, Gene, and who saw that game coming? I thought it was going to be a nail-biter either way. Boy, Oak Grove looks strong, and it's going to take a heck of a football team to beat Oak Grove.
I've talked to a couple of Eagle fans here since the ball game, and they thought those big old boys were on the offensive line. And then they heard they were on defense, and they went, oh, well, they're not going to be able to really move. And they got up there and saw them and went, hello. And it was just a wake-up call real quick.
That's my old buddy used to say, wrong again.
Yeah.
Them boys can run. They're real athletic, and, they got guys in the secondary that really can play, Gene.
Yeah, great football team. And right now, we don't see anybody knocking them off. Not to jinx you, Ryan, but, boy, I tell you, he's got a good football team. West Monroe continues to impress. They had Ash at the house this past Friday night. Both teams came into this thing number 1 and number 2 in the 5A power ratings, but at the end of the day, it was obvious the Rebels have certainly played stiffer competition and are certainly a much better football team.
Yeah, Ash, of course, don't play the schedule that West Monroe does, and Coach Baldwin knew that coming in. He was hoping to keep this game close to the end, Gene, but West Monroe was just too strong for him.
And, of course, Haynesville a winner as well. Now, also going on in high school football here this week, we kind of talked a little bit about it on Channel 10 last Wednesday, reclassification of high school football. They're still working numbers up, and I would think here by the end of the week, we're going to kind of have a pretty good feel for who is going where and what. There's, of course, a lot of speculation. Madison may be dropping down to 2A. We've heard that. Ouachita, Jeff Fitzgerald telling us he hopes they're right on the line, but they're hoping they're in 4A.
And Gene, that's one of those things you never know until the numbers come out, because, you have schools that drops enrollment, kids, paper mill close and folks move out, and the numbers can change, up to 40, 50, either way sometimes. So you never know where that's going to land.
I heard a funny story the other day. One of the coaches was telling me, he says, a kid may start off with us, and then after a month or two may move to another school, and we didn't really know we lost him, and not for a month did we know he was over there, and start comparing numbers. So a crazy situation, but anyway, I think all of that will get worked out. Oak Grove, another one of the schools, Ryan Gregory thinking they may even be a 2A program next year. So anyway, a lot going on in high school football. This is that every 2-year deal as it relates to sports, and we'll, of course, kind of keep you posted here on the Red Zone, and if not for sure, on NBC 10 Sports at 6 and 10. All right, everybody, we're going to take ourselves a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to sit down with one of the most exciting teams in the area, certainly one of the most exciting running backs. That's the guys from Arcadia. We'll see you after the break.
Body aches can be tough on your day-to-day life, but they're preventable. Chiropractic care is not about pills and surgery. It's about solving the problem, not just the symptoms, the natural way. If you have aches and pains or headaches, chiropractic care can get you back on the road to feeling better. In Northeast Louisiana, patients have relied on the professionalism of Dr. Bob Rendina at the Chiro Network Chiropractic Center in Ruston. You should too, and get back to living.
It's been a few years since my playing days.
Even longer for me, but the dedication to hard work,
The competition too, Dad.
has laid the foundation for the type of attorneys we are.
Our team at the Downs Law Firm is proud to support our local high school football programs.
All season long, you'll hear us on K104 Friday Night Scoreboard Show, and this year we're helping to raise money for local charities as part of our Game of the Week.
Winning on and off the field.
It's what we do.
Get in the game. Call Ross.
Enjoy the good times a little more with the right plan. State Farm agent Jeff Lamont is here to help you protect your dreams and loved ones with life insurance. Call Jeff Lamont today to find out which options are best for you. It's just another way we're here to help life go right.
At Sonic, we're dedicated to the future of this community.
That's why we're a proud sponsor of the Sonic Drive-In Red Zone Scholarship.
A $2,000 scholarship will be awarded to a deserving high school senior, and in turn will be used to help further his or her education at the college of that student's choice.
Applications can be picked up at any participating Sonic Drive-In in Monroe, West Monroe, Jonesboro, or Winfield, and all entries are due in or before November 12th. Sonic Drive-In in Red Zone, proving students are winners.
Hey, Gene, about that schedule. Oh, my bad. Wrong meeting. Football season.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. And as you can tell, we've got the Arcadia Hornets in the house, and nice to have them in here with us for the first time in a good while. We had the opportunity on Friday night on K104 to visit with Dimitri Carr, their head coach, to talk about their effort and their win the other night. Coach, first of all, good seeing you, man.
Same here.
We kind of go back a few years.
Yeah, a little while. I'm not going to say it, but a little while.
Yeah, don't date either one of us, Big Daddy. Hey, well, congratulations on the success. You guys doesn't really so much reflect in the record right now, but I think you guys are probably one of the better 2 and 4 football teams in the state right now.
No doubt. We have a very, very good team. You know, we have small numbers, but we have a team that plays together, and you know, any given day we can possibly beat anybody. You know, so teams have to prepare for us.
Well, you got a couple of guys who have obviously been instrumental in the success so far. Introduce me and everybody to both of them.
All right, to my near left, I have Jamal Hill. He plays right guard for us and D tackle. And to the far left, I have Corey Russell. C.J. Russell is a tailback. You know, he plays a little linebacker for us also.
You don't have to introduce that dude in the blue shirt down there. We're still trying to get him out. He doesn't know what side of the line he's on yet.
Yeah, what is his name?
Yeah. Hey, well, guys, welcome to the show, and congratulations so far. Jamal, I'll start with you a little bit. I mean, a good football team. You have the luxury of being up front offensively. You're talking to two guys that have played on the offensive line in college and in high school. Nice to be able to be productive and have a guy like CJ behind you who can crack in a hole real quick.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about your football team and what you guys are doing. I know Coach likes to run the ball downhill all night.
Yes, sir. Like, the whole Arcadia has been based off running ever since I've been playing in high school. Like, when you ain't running, we either pass, and it ain't gonna be a long pass either.
Well, isn't that the saddest thing sometimes?
Yes, sir.
Well, CJ, boy, what a year you're having. I don't even know if I could share the numbers with you, but the other night, 350 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he averaged over 40 yards a carry, which is almost video game numbers. But as much as you've enjoyed running and scoring like that,
yes, sir,
the guys up front are helping you get there.
Yes, sir, most definitely. Without them, like, I wouldn't get a yard at all. So, like, I really give all the credit to the line.
The schedule you have left, where do you think you're going to end up finishing in power rating?
I really think if we win out, we can get possibly to 16 to 18 range. You know, I think jump, because I think right now we're sitting right 25. I think we can
still put you on the road in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think I'd want to meet you.
Well, yeah, it does put us on the road. And like I tell these guys all the time, it's football. So if you get a chance to play it, no matter where you're at, if you're at home, you're away, if you're in the backyard, go out and enjoy it, you know. So, you know, I just want to have the opportunity to play.
Talk to me a little bit about the offensive philosophy and the things that you're doing and the year you're having. What's kind of going into that, and were you a little bit surprised at how well it's gone this year?
Well, not really. Like, during the summertime, we got extra work days. We told coach we wanted more days of work. So, like, we really wanted that ourselves. So, like, it was just all us, really.
Well, the obvious question a lot of folks probably want to know, too, are colleges knocking on the door yet? I got to think you're getting some attention from somebody somewhere.
Yes, I'm getting a couple of attention.
He's quite the player, huh?
Oh, he's a great player. I really honestly feel like he's the best back in the state of Louisiana. You know, I have this, and you know, people might say I might be a little biased, but I've seen this kid work since a freshman, and he's just been putting up insane numbers. So you got to be able to play sometime. You know, he can play somewhere. You know, at a very high level. You know, and we don't have just cupcakes in our district. You know, we have the standard in 1A, which is Haynesville Tornadoes. So, you know, he does it against them, he does it against everybody. So you got to give him some type of props.
Hey, Jamal, tell us about blocking for a guy like CJ. Do you have to stay on your block very long, or is he bam, bam, gone?
It's really like a 1-2, then like you just go because he's so fast. Like, the blink of an eye, you miss him, he gone already to the touchdown. It's a great opportunity to be able to block for such a great guy.
I know we played offensive line, me and Gene both, through high school. When you have a back like CJ here, it makes you a better offensive lineman because you don't have to stay on your block very long.
Yes, sir.
You know? So Coach Carr's not hollering at you on the VM and all that.
Hey, well, tell me a little bit, CJ, about Jonesboro Hodge. You got those guys coming in on Friday, homecoming. So I know Coach is preaching to you about the distractions that come along with that. But, hey, Tigers are a good football team.
Yes, sir.
Team that went to what? Semifinals?
Semis
a year ago. So give me your thoughts on JB.
Well, you know, they are 6-1 right now. So, well, that's really good. They're a real scrappy team, hard-working. We just have to come out and execute.
Coach, talk to me about these last 3 ball games. I mean, an opportunity to improve the power rating, but also to get some momentum going.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We get have another home game this week, you know, which has been homecoming. You have a great opponent that you're going to be facing, you know, Coach Blankenship has those guys working. They're extremely hard. They're very fast. When I pop in the film, I'm like, man, it's like chasing deer out there. You just see them, they're moving. So, you know, and it's a good test. And I preach to our guys all the time, you always want that competition, you know. Never shy away from the moment or the competition you have, because it's only going to make you better.
You know, a lot of times we talk football, X's and O's stuff, but one thing I want to bring up about Arcadia High School is y'all got a principal over there that is an athletic guy. He's a big support for y'all, and you know, I really not like to say anything nice about Sampson, but he really is a good guy, and I know he supports y'all a lot.
Oh yes, he's exceptional when it comes to being behind the sports and athletic groups at Arcadia High School. He puts a lot of time in. He calls me and he constantly, Coach, I thought about this. You might even want to think about putting this in, or maybe running or looking at it. He's constantly.
You tell him I got this?
No, I don't tell him I accept it because you know, I'm being a young coach. I try to learn everything I could possibly learn.
Well, glad we were able to shine a little light on you guys this week. Best of luck the rest of the way. Good seeing you too, man.
All right, thank y'all for having us.
All right, everybody, the Hornets Arcadia. Commercial break time. When we come back, we'll talk about our teams in 1A right after this.
Hungry for a big juicy steak? How about a rack of barbecue ribs? Well, there's no better place for meat than Randall's Fine Meats. Juicy, fresh-cut 1855 steaks, boudin and boudin balls, daily rib specials just $11.99 a slab, stuffed pork chops, fresh-made meat pies, boiled shrimp, fried cracklins, big bone chicken, and stuffed potatoes. Randall's caters. Call and let us cater your next event. It's fresh every day at Randall's Fine Meats on the corner of Old Sterlington Road and Fink's Hideaway in Monroe.
As a local business owner, one of the things I like to do is work with other local businesses. And when we started our company back in 1995, one of the things we realized that we needed for our employees was a quality health insurance plan. That's why finding a company like Vantage that's a local company that provides quality health care and networks with other doctors was just a natural fit for us. If you're a local business owner and you're looking for a quality health insurance plan, I suggest that you give Vantage a call. I think you'll be just as satisfied with their product as I have been.
Relax at DAX. Bring your whole crew. You can get together with all your friends and family at DAX, where there's always good food, good brew, and good times. DAX is a great place to watch the game. Enjoy appetizers and drinks while you watch. Dive into our delicious burgers, signature wings, or one of the favorites from the grill. We have a wide selection of drinks to choose from, including daiquiris. Relax at DAX, Forsyth Avenue in Monroe.
Who's making the big plays? Find out who's the Beast of the Week. Nominate your favorite high school football star on myarklamiss.com now. Every Thursday night, we'll announce last week's Beast of the Week on Fox 14 News at 9. Brought to you by these sponsors.
All right, everybody, let's talk a little 1A football. Obviously, we just had Arcadia on the show a minute ago. Oak Grove, perhaps the most impressive win of the week, as they hosted Ouachita Christian and dominated that thing from the get-go. As we go to some of the highlights, this was one of those games that started off about as strange as it gets. We had two safeties to get this thing going, and it was a 4-0 ball game. I thought I was watching the Red Sox and the Astros go at it. But anyway, Tigers finally kind of got things going. Otis Moore with a nice long touchdown run to put them up 11-0. And then the trick play, that's what the Eagles had to resort to after that. Will Fitzhugh passed it out to Gavin Shepard for an Eagles touchdown to make it 11-7. But boy, after that, it was all Tigers.
Hey, Cameron Holloway, the quarterback, Gene, he had 2 touchdowns passing, 2 touchdowns rushing. What a good night for that young man.
Well, this week they get a shot at Delhi. That could be another high-scoring football game on Friday. Now, equally impressive on Friday night was, I thought, St. Frederick's win, Joey, over a pretty decent Cedar Creek team. They had them there at Chip Luffy Field. Did a lot of good things. Let's go to some of the highlights from Friday night. I'll show you that one. First possession of the ball game was actually a defensive turnover. Brooks Auger is going to go in on 3rd and long, threw it deep, but Pat Johnson was right there for St. Fred's to pick it off and headed the other way. And that's where Andy Williams, their outstanding quarterback, on the option, took that baby 75 yards to the house for the game's first score. St. Fred's went on to win that thing 21-13, but a lot of good things happening, Joey.
A lot of good things. And Andy Williams, a quarterback, he ended up with 125 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 passing for 100 yards passing.
All right, this week they go to Delta Charter. Andy?
Delta Charter's a improved football team. Had a lot of injuries week to week. I think they're getting some guys back healthy. Probably had the best running back in the district, Freddie Mango. A really good player, explosive player on offense. Have a really good quarterback to go along with them. And then have some long athletic guys on defense. So it'll be a big road challenge. We hadn't played on the road well this year. So we're going to challenge our team to go out on the road and try to win another big district game for us this week.
Of course, we mentioned Cedar Creek, the victims in that loss to the Warriors the other day. Still a lot to play for. Good, strong power rating to Cedar Creek have, and they'll make a lot of noise. You'll see a nice touchdown coming up here from the other night, but still a good football team. And
I'm going to tell you, they got a heck of a running back, Gene Lane Blue. He had 153 yards, 2 touchdowns the other night, and he's a young kid. I think he's just a sophomore. What a good player.
Hey, Shannon, tell us about Cicely Allen.
early on, they jumped out to a big lead on Cicely Island. Had a few mistakes here and there, and all of a sudden Cicely Island's back in the ball game. But St. Fred's held in there, you know, and came out with the W.
All right, could be a pretty good football game down on Highway 15. Ouachita Christian, how well do they get off the canvas? We'll see against Tensas on Friday.
Well, I can tell you, Turner Carr, the quarterback, is a heck of a football player. Gene, the other night, he was 14 for 30 out of 35 attempts, 202 yards against Oak Grove. Good football.
Stephen Fitzhugh, give us the preview, sir.
Tensas this Friday night, and they're going to spread the ball out. They have several outstanding athletes on their team, and again, it comes down to we've got to get better. Headed into Week 8 right now. That's hard to believe, but playoffs, a few weeks away, and so we've got to get to where we're clicking on all cylinders. We got to eliminate the mistakes. In all phases of the game, we have a lot of areas that we still need to improve on, and again, we just need to get those mistakes corrected and do things right, and again, start clicking on all cylinders as the playoffs approach.
Don't think they're going to have a problem bouncing back with the Eagles on Friday. Now, Haynesville, you said it right at the top of the show, one of 3 undefeated teams still here in our backyard. Coach David Franklin, boy, they just had their way the other night with Lincoln Prep. Unfortunately, so many teams have, but as you look at some of the highlights, they scored every which way but loose, and boy, they flat got after it.
Yeah, David Franklin told me that the offensive line played great, Gene. They had 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, and I think the clock started then and never turned off till the game was over.
Well, that's how you do it. Oh, man, that's sad almost. But anyway, they host Jonesboro Hodge on Friday night, and I certainly think that's going to be a little bit better ball game. You're looking at the 1A schedule, everybody. Again, like I said, Block at Logansport. That's another one of the matchups. Cedar Creek at Cicely Island. Home action at Delhi, Delta Charter. Haynesville on the road. And how about Lakeside at LaSalle? See if the Tigers can kind of get back rocking and rolling. Lincoln Prep at Ringgold. And then Tensas goes to OCS. Now, before we talk about our teams in 2A, I want to take a little brief time out and remind everybody that thanks to our good friends at Sonic Drive-In, we're giving away a $2,000 college scholarship to some deserving senior this coming year. And all you have to do is get by any of the locations in Monroe, West Monroe, Jonesboro, or Winfield. Fill out the application, get that baby turned back in, and we're going to make somebody a lucky camper.
I tell you what, and you know, how nice is it for Sonic to get involved with the high school kids? That shows me that they're getting involved in our community.
No question about it, and we're glad to have them a part of the Red Zone. Go by and see the folks at Sonic and give yourself a chance, especially all you seniors out there who might be watching us tonight. Now, let's talk about Rayville. They were 0-5 to start the season, picked up their first win. Last Thursday night, they went over to Delhi Charter, and I thought they were going to go right back into the losers column again because in the first half, they could just not get on track against the Gators. In fact, you're looking at some of those highlights. I'm telling you, the Gators just kind of had their way with them, but they found a way to kind of get it going.
And I tell you how they found a way, Gene. Those 2 receivers, Tyler Haynes, he had 91 yards, 1 touchdown, and Darian Brown, he also had 103 yards and a touchdown. Those guys can make plays.
Well, this week they host Beekman Charter.
Got a pretty good tight end. They got a new football coach. You can tell that they're working some things out. So they're looking more and more. They got some wins this year where they didn't have any last year. So you can see the productivity of the new coach starting to work.
Hey, now also in 2A action Friday night, the Mangum Dragons honestly thought being at home and taking on a General Trask team that was probably 10, I think maybe 12 points better than they were in the power ratings, that this was going to kind of be a come-out game. And early, as you go to some of the highlights show, you can see that Dragons kind of got things going with Tyler Haynes, ran it in for a touchdown. That made a 14-7 ball game. But, boy, the defense let them down, and General Trask was right back at it. Their outstanding quarterback, Stewart, threw it out there to Fred Kelly, and he went in to score to tie things up. And it kind of went back and forth before General Trask actually won that thing by 16.
Mangum has a running back named Cam Wilmore. Good night, 26 attempts, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Well, for the first time in 7 weekends, Mangum goes on the road. They're at Faraday on Friday.
Well, Faraday's already pretty much got district wrapped up. They're in really good shape. They were a tremendous football team last year. Not a lot different this year, tremendous athletes. Mangum's not had a whole lot of luck with Faraday over the years. We're certainly going to try to change that. Big, fast, strong. Beat Vidalia at Vidalia last week, so that should tell you a few things. They're a good football team.
Now, I mentioned a minute ago the Gators at Delhi Charter. Of course, they lost to Rayville last Thursday night, but I was impressed, at least in the first half, with their defense tenacity and the way that they threw the ball around offensively. Managed to get out in the end zone, led that thing 7-0 against what turned out to be a pretty good Rayville team. But, you know, right now it's about playing good football down the stretch for them, Joey.
And, you know, their linebackers leading that team on defense. His name is Hayden Arledge. He had 8 solo tackles the other night, Gene. Good football player, and Tommy's going to get it turned.
Well, I caught up with Brett Whaley to get his thoughts, and this is what he said about the last 3 weeks.
These next 3 games are big. We got General Trask, it's a much improved football team, and you got Faraday, that's, you know, one of the teams that's predicted to play in the Dome. Then we finish up with Vidalia, which, you know, Coach Faircloth there is doing a great job and got those guys rolling. I think they made it to the 2nd round last year. So these next 3 weeks are going to be real important to us. And, you know, the kids are working hard, and, you know, that's our goal, is to get a home playoff game.
Looking for the 2A action on Friday night. All you have to do is show up at Rayville, Tioga, maybe Calvary Baptist. They've got Darbone Woods coming to the house. Delhi Charter again on the road at Trask. Faraday hosting Mangum. And Menard, Holy Savior, taking on the Tigers of Winfield down at their place. Time for us to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll visit with the Bastrop Rams. We'll do that after this.
Hi, I'm Ross Downs. Has a car wreck turned your life into a mess? Let me handle all that stress. For over 20 years, I've represented thousands of clients and have recovered tens of millions of dollars on their behalf. I aggressively take on the big insurance companies.
I'm Earl Ross Downs. Is an insurance company bullying you around? Hire the Downs Law Firm. We won't back down.
Car wreck, big truck wreck? Call us now at 325-7677.
Welcome to River Grill, a relaxed, friendly place to dine in Monroe. There's always something going on. Stop in for Tito's Taco Tuesday. Watch the game at our place and sample our game day appetizer menu. Unwind with our daily drink specials. During happy hour, get half off domestic bottles and house wine. Have weekend brunch at River Grill and sip on bottomless mimosas and our signature Build Your Own Bloody Mary. And listen out for live music on our patio. There's always something going on at River Grill.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. You can see we've got Adrian Burnett, the head football coach at Bastrop, in the house to talk a little Ram football, a team coming off an open date, which, at least in my opinion, probably comes at a pretty good time. First of all, welcome to the show. And,
thank you for having me.
And your thoughts about the timing of that thing.
Well, we had a hard-fought battle at Brother Martin in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So it gives us an opportunity to take a week off, kind of regain ourselves, and get ready for district play.
Healthy right now?
As healthy as you can be this time of the year.
That doesn't sound too positive. That being said, yeah, it was a great football game against the Crusaders. Kind of, I mean, got away from y'all right there at the end, but well played. You guys had a great ball game against them 2 years ago up here, too.
Yeah, that turned into a good 2-year rivalry. What it did was it gave us an opportunity to kind of see where we were, play against a team that's a playoff caliber team, something that we may see similar during our playoff run.
Well, you guys have been wide open, throwing it all over the yard, running ball, playing good defense. I know you got to be happy the way you're playing.
Yeah, we kind of more balanced this year. A lot of guys are getting older, so they more understand the scheme, just like I understand them a lot better. And it's just really been showing up in our play every Friday.
Well, some people may think we have a law firm in the house when you introduce your 3 players, so I'll let you take care of that.
One, I have number 13, defensive lineman, Dentarius McHenry. Quarterback number 8, Quaterius Hawkins, and running back Kyreese Lawrence.
All right, fellas, welcome to the big show. Playing pretty good football. I'm going to start right here with you. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
You guys, Dentarius, that ball game against the Crusaders, I thought went in there with all kind of great momentum. You guys were 5-0 and you had to be feeling pretty good about the way y'all played so far this year.
Yes, sir.
Just talk to me a little bit about some of the things that y'all have been doing this year that have been so successful.
Like, we've been working hard at practice every day, all day through the week. It just pays off on Friday.
Quintarius, when you guys came into this season, I know y'all had to feel pretty good about what y'all were doing. I think a lot of folks, when they saw y'all in the Jamboree out of ULM, were like, hello, these guys were putting it up big time, and boy, you had a great night that night and have had some good nights since. But talk to me about the philosophy that went into this season.
I've been working hard all season, going to speed training, and now with Coach AB and a couple of my receivers and my center, we all just prepared for the season and got better.
Hey, and the good thing about that, I know you've got some guys on that coaching staff who have been there, done that, and it's been nice. You've kind of been a study under them for what, since you were a freshman, probably. Isn't it kind of sweet having somebody like that?
Of course, I'm coached by the best, Coach Ronald Mackey.
Carice, tell me a little bit about where you guys are right now coming out of the open date. Kind of gives you 2 weeks to kind of get your feet back up underneath you, but now you start district play, which is very important. Tell me about your mindset with this football team.
I feel like we just want it. We just got to have that want it. We got to be greedy for it. That's all we got to have.
Is it hard to believe that we're already rolling into week 8 already? You guys have really 3 games left in the regular season.
Yeah, it kind of came pretty quick, but we got to be ready for it. Can't get too humble, can't get too high, can't get too low.
And Adrian, that's the thing that's pretty scary. This thing has flown by.
Yeah.
These guys have been with this program for a while. All 3 of y'all seniors?
No, he's actually a junior, 2 seniors.
Okay.
And this was probably the first class I kind of came in with them, so I've seen them, all the way from their freshman year.
Well, you tell me some of the things that you feel like you guys are doing well. I mean, obviously I think y'all are throwing it, but defense is getting it done as well.
Yeah, defense has always been the cornerstone of Bastrop High School football. They played well last year. Offense has just kind of caught up with them. Coach Sherrod, who I hired to be our offensive line coach, has brought more of a run game to us, and it kind of balances out a little bit.
Franklin Parish rolls in here Friday night. Much improved Patriots football team. I've seen them play a couple of times. They're doing some good things well.
Well, they always play us hard. We was in a shootout with them last year. I think they ended up scoring 52, 53 points on us. We beat them by 1 point, and I got to imagine it's going to be the same game this year.
Well, guys, best of luck on Friday night. Enjoy the last 3 weeks of regular season. I know you guys are heading to the playoffs too, but I'm telling you, you'll look back, Coach will tell you, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, and remember these days more than anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you hear it every day. Bastrop Rams, everybody, they're hosting Franklin Parish on Friday night. Check them out in the Strop. Time out. We'll be back after this.
You're the first one up in the morning. You're ready for the day, and you've got a lot to do. But sometimes you need a bigger shovel. For over 17 years, Kepper Dirt and Equipment Rental has been keeping the big boys in the big toys. Doesn't matter if you're a hunter, farmer, contractor, or you just like getting dirty. We've got the steel to get the job done right. Kepper Dirt and Equipment Rental. Work done right.
If chronic pain limits your life, the doctors at Louisiana Pain Care can offer non-surgical treatments like epidural steroid injections.
An epidural steroid injection is a non-surgical treatment we perform for neck, mid-back, and low back pain. Spinal injections should be performed by board-certified specialists, and we are the only board-certified pain management doctors here in Northeast Louisiana. Most patients return to their normal activities right away.
If chronic pain limits your life, see the specialist at Louisiana Pain Care.
At Highcombe Eye Center, restoring your vision is our passion. Pioneering new technology and setting new standards in cataract care. Exclusively at Highcombe Eye Center, we offer the combination of the precision of the Aura as well as the planned accuracy of the Varian Alcon Duet.
Cataract surgery with the Aura and Varian system is the next step in personalized surgery in ophthalmology. It truly improves the patient's vision and improves their lives.
Call to schedule your cataract evaluation.
Fox 14, the official home for NFL and New Orleans Saints football.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the big show. And, of course, Go Wings here in Monroe. In fact, while we were sitting here talking football a minute ago, we had a young lady walk in and said, hey, saw us on the show last week and thought you'd come by and check it out.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
And you can see it's pretty good food, Gene.
This is no slouch, I promise you, everybody. Wings of every flavor. And they are darn good. I don't mind telling you. So come by and check them out. This will certainly be gone by the time the show wraps up tonight. But anyway, they're located right off of 165 on Desert as you head toward ULM, right there on the right, maybe a quarter of a mile or so. But anyway, great hospitality, good food, and you won't have to wait long, which is pretty sweet as well. All right, let's talk about West Ouachita going for their second win in as many tries on the road to Buckeye, a team they felt pretty good about it. And, boy, they really looked impressive. Just looking at some of the video highlights the other night from down at their place, Brendan Crawford kind of got them going. And, of course, Tobias Owens is the bell cow in that group. Took that one right up the gut. It didn't take long for him to find the end zone on the very next play. Special athlete, but that offensive line getting it done for him too, Joey.
It's definitely getting it done. Matt goes on and on about the O-line. Tobias had 18 carries the other night, 156 yards, 4 touchdowns, Gene.
Pretty impressive stuff. Gets a little bit tougher, though, on Friday night. They'll go over to Bill Ruppel Stadium. Matt?
Any Mickey McCarty coach team is always a very good football team. They always play extremely well. They got a great coaching staff, play extremely hard. I think it's evidence in what they've done through the past, and it's just another year. They're another great football team, and he'll always have those guys playing extremely hard, and they're always going to be in it in the very end, and we're always going to have our hands full, and we know that, but our deal is we're concerned with ourselves, and hopefully we can find a success within ourselves and be able to run the football effectively and hopefully shorten the clock.
All right, talking about those Tigers, they were out of district play this past Friday night. Franklinton came back up here, and it was homecoming, as you can see by some of the videos. So it was obviously a great opportunity to shine on that night. Tigers were up 21-13 here in the second quarter when we got there. Our cameras did. Andrew Brister, nice job, handed it off to Max Hunter. He went in for the touchdown. Made it a 28-13 ball game. Brister came right back and hit Jordan Thomas on another one to really open it up. They're kind of rolling right now.
They rolling. The defensive end, Coach wanted to point out that like Cameron Franklin, he had 3 sacks the other night. He's forcing it off the edge, Gene.
Well, I just made mention, obviously, they've got the Chiefs on Friday, but this is what Mickey McCarty thinks of them.
I think Coach Middleton and staff have the Chiefs playing at a level in which they're proud of, to the point that they've improved. They've won 2 in a row. Their kids play extremely hard. I think they're getting a lot out of their kids, and that's what it's about. And at the same time, we feel like ours are in the same place. We've got a little momentum ourselves. Their team has some momentum. District play starts, so should be a game that is going to be played hard by both sides, and we'll see how it turns out.
All right, we talked about Bastrop, West Ouachita, Neville, everybody in Class 4A. Brings us to Franklin Parish, a team that, boy, looked so impressive the other night in their victory against Green Oaks. But that had a lot to do because they've got one guy who is just really showing out.
Yeah, their quarterback, LT Major, what a player he is, Gene. He accounted for 6 touchdowns the other night, Gene. 4 of them rushing, 2 of them passing. That guy might be driving the bus too. I mean, he does everything for them.
Well, they beat Green Oaks 63-30 on Friday night, but this week they go to the Strop.
Well, anytime you go up to Bastrop, you're already, as I've heard 1,000 coaches say, you're already 7 points down. So get ready for that. Plus this year, Coach has done a great job up there with them. AB's done a great job. They're super talented. They can throw the ball all over the field. They can run it when they want to run it. And defensively, they're definitely way better than they were a year ago. But that's what it's all about, though. People say, oh, it's a disadvantage, it's this, that. No, that's why you coach and play the game. For the atmosphere you get up there at Bastrop on a Friday night, for the atmosphere you get at a Neville and a West Ouachita, that's what you coach this thing for, man. It's that atmosphere, and it's a challenge every week. And going up to Bastrop, man, it's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, and it's going to be fun.
All right, so there's the 4A schedule of our area teams, and pretty short and sweet. Action at Bastrop and at Neville. Now, let's talk about our teams in the private Mississippi Association. River Oaks and Riverfield Academy both had open dates a week ago. The Mustangs in that spot now where a victory comes are needed on Friday to get into the playoffs or at least control their own destiny. And that's the most important thing. This is the last week of the regular season for those dudes.
Yeah, and you sure don't want to leave it up to nobody else.
No.
You know, you want to take care of your own business.
Robert, tell us about Glenbrook.
Well, you know, Friday's big for us. We go to Glenbrook. It's for the district championship, and we're excited. I know Glenbrook's excited. They seem to be well coached. Their players are playing hard and getting better every week. We've just got to prepare, be ready, and then, you know, hopefully win a ball game Friday night, get to host a playoff.
So good luck to you Mustangs on Friday night. This is the season finale, too, for Union Christian. They're taking on Lee Academy out of Arkansas, and Riverfield Academy wrapping things up on the road at St. Aloysius. We're also sharing with you all the 8-man games on Friday night. We enjoy keeping up with them as well. Some of these teams putting up some big-time numbers, and it is certainly impressive to see. All right, everybody, commercial break time. When we come back, we'll get into 3A and 5A. We'll do that after some wings and a commercial break.
$2.99 for a Car Hop Classic. What a steal.
Steal. That's a heist. Put this on.
Oh, disguise.
I don't think I can eat in this. It's all part of the plan, my friend.
Get a quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a Slinger Plus Tots for $2.99. Try it today.
Louisiana Delta Community College is your community college. Whatever your aspirations, we're here to help. We offer transfer degrees if you'd like to continue on to university life. We offer associate degrees that can take you to the workforce or to a university. We even offer programs that teach you only the skills you need for the job. And that's not all. If you think you missed out because you didn't earn your high school degree, we can even help with that. Call us today. We have 8 locations to serve you. Louisiana Delta Community College.
Body aches can be tough on your day-to-day life, but they're preventable. Chiropractic care is not about pills and surgery. It's about solving the problem, not just the symptoms, the natural way. If you have aches and pains or headaches, chiropractic care can get you back on the road to feeling better. In Northeast Louisiana, patients have relied on the professionalism of Dr. Bob Rendina at the Chiro Network Chiropractic Center in Ruston. You should too, and get back to living.
Fox 14, the official home for NFL and New Orleans Saints football.
Everybody, welcome back to the Ross Downs Red Zone here on a Wednesday night on Fox 14. Joey Pender, Gene Ponte, certainly appreciate you for joining us here on a late Wednesday night. A lot of high school football still to talk about. We still got the playoffs coming up in a few weeks. So anyway, we're certainly looking forward to that. One of the teams this past Friday night who we thought looked very impressive, and they had to slow down at a Wasserman team that put up 86 points the week prior, was Sterlington.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Wasserman's got an explosive offense, Gene. And, boy, well, how do you go in trying to defend a team that just scored 86 points?
Well, they did a pretty good job of it. I don't mind telling you. Well, our Chris Immersion caught up with Lee Doty to talk about that contest and what's ahead. So as we get ready to share that with you, we're going to take care of a little bit of business, enjoy some of these good wings from Go Wings, and we'll see you in a minute. Chris, take it away, man.
All right, Gene and Joey, thanks. I got Coach Lee Doty, head coach of the 5-2 Sterlington Panthers. Pretty good season so far. Hard to believe we're already talking about playoffs. It's like this football season just came and went, did it not?
It seems like they always do, and especially, you know, when you're having a good year, things go by really fast.
You know, Coach, let's talk a little bit about your win last week versus Wasserman. Dallas Rager had a heck of a game. From what I saw, 3 touchdowns, rushed for over 200 yards for the 4th time this season. How big of an asset has Dallas Rager been to the football team?
Well, I think Dallas has been a great asset to us. You know, we very fortunate to have him, but I think Dallas will tell you himself, you know, our offensive line is playing really well, and, you know, they're opening up some big lanes for him, and, you know, he just told me the other night, Coach, you know, I'm seeing big holes, and I'm just running the football.
Before we talk more about the offensive line, you have another back in Thompson who's rushed for 124 yards last week, added a touchdown late in the ball game. You kind of have a two-headed monster working on the ground this year.
Yeah, Jordan, you know, he's played really well, and, you know, the more time he touches the ball, the better he gets. So, you know, we're going to run the football. There's no doubts about that. And, our quarterback's starting to play a little bit better too, and that's opening up the run for us. So very happy with where we're headed right now offensively.
About that offensive line, our friend Mark Mitchum from the Bastrop Enterprise wrote a nice article on the O-line last week. Coach, going into this season, you lost a lot of starters from last year, but what's working on that O-line in 2018?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Coach Foster. He's a very good offensive line coach. Those guys are a very tight-knit group of young men. Spend a lot of time together. Coach Foster does a lot with them, and he coaches them up, and right now they're playing really well.
How much growth have you seen throughout the season? You had a couple of tough losses, including Calvary Baptist a couple of weeks ago. But you guys seem to really resurge after the 2 losses you had this year.
Well, I think, you hate to lose a football game, but last year we didn't lose any, and when we did lose, there was not any teaching moments there. It was time to pack it up and go home. So, having the losses earlier this year, I think really made us, look and see what we had to work on and what we had to get better at. And, I hate to say it's a good thing, but our kids have really responded well.
It's interesting, after those 2 losses, I think we were all thinking, what kind of year is this going to be for Sterlington? They're looking a little young. But you realize, think about it, you're really 1 game behind Union Parish, and you're a win away from beating Union Parish from being in first place.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tall task for anybody, not just Sterlington Panthers. But, a lot of people threw dirt on us when we lost the game. And, it's just one of those things that you have to take in stride and come back out and work harder the next week.
One of the, causes for concern was the loss of CJ earlier in the year. How has the group kind of revolved around, not having CJ and just moving forward?
Well, CJ's still a big part of our program. He comes to practice every day and is working out, and he got in the game against Carroll last week, and I think he'll play a little bit more as the season progresses. So, he's still here and still part of us, and our team has rallied around Dallas and some of our other guys, and right now we're just we're having a heck of a run right now, and I hope we can continue it.
Coach, you go deeper into district play this week. Another big opponent. What do you kind of think of those guys when you see them on tape?
Well, Madison Parish is loaded with athletes, and they looked really good against Union Parish last week. They played really hard, and I know their coaches are doing everything they can do to get them back on track, and we'll practice against them just like we do against everybody else. Nothing but a whole lot of respect for them and their program, and we'll see what happens Friday.
Obviously, I think people think of Madison Parish, they see 86-0. What else do you see in Madison that could really cause some concern for you guys on Friday night?
I think the quarterback's very good. I mean, he moves around really well, and he's tough as nails because he's taken a pounding this year. And but just getting athletes out in space against us gives us trouble sometimes, and an athletic quarterback has always given us trouble. So, we have to be ready to go this week and not take anything for granted.
Going back to last week's win versus Wasserman, I think the irony in all this, you guys scored 43 points. Your great friend, offensive coordinator Bobby Breen, celebrated his 43rd birthday.
Yeah, I wish he could have a birthday every week, and maybe, we could expand on that scores. But, happy birthday to Bobby, and that was a big win for Bobby, and he's done a heck of a job.
Sterlington head coach Lee Doty, 5-2. His Panthers take on Madison Parish at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Gene and Joey, back to you in the studio.
All right, good job, Chris. And we're still eating.
We still eat. This food is great, Gene.
It is. It's very, very good stuff. All right, let's talk about a team that last Thursday night I thought really got out there and took care of business because they needed a win. They didn't quit, and that was the most important thing. I'm talking about the Rams, who had Carroll. Man, they fell down early in this ball game by a couple of touchdowns, but stayed the course.
And I'm going to tell you, he's got a heck of a player there, Gene, and his name is Benny Davis. Benny Davis, what a heck of a football player he is. He had 10 rushes the other night, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 receiving. And, Gene, I might have to put you on the stat sheet with these wings you hammer.
They're going quick.
Yeah, they're going quick.
I don't mind telling you. Hey, Coach Harvey, tell us about your ball game this week at Wasserman.
Since Coach Schmidt came back, his guys picked it up, and they've been putting some points on the board. So, again, we're going to have to score 20 24-plus points to have a chance Friday night. But those guys, Wasserman, they run around defensively, offensively, so it's going to be a challenge for us, but I think my guys are ready for the challenge this week.
Now, Joey, on the flip side of things, obviously the Wildcats have to get back to work facing Richwood coming off that loss to Sterlington, but hey, Coach Dean Smith's got his team playing pretty well, I think.
They do. I mean, Dean's got them playing hard, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Jesse Booker was a heck of a running back for him. 21 carries the other night, 223 yards, and what a good night.
Boy, rival game.
This Friday coming up, we have Richwood, Coach Rob Arp, and his team's ready to play ball. Watch the film. They were down 23-6 in the third quarter, and the rally back to show the team had a lot of fight in those guys. So, you know they're going to be playing hard against a Wasserman team. And they have a good quarterback. Number 8, Benny Davis, is an excellent player. But we look forward to the challenge to try to slow them down and get those Rams under control a little bit.
Obviously, you see some more of that ball game the other night against Richwood from the Carroll perspective. Man played well enough to win this thing, but just relaxed.
Yeah, just kind of
can't do it.
You can't sit on your heels, Gene. That's a heck of a team, and you know when you take you play hard early, and then you kind of rest on your laurels. Ced Woods, a quarterback, had a good night. He had 15 rushes, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, a good football play.
Well, it does not get any easier for the Sea Dogs. They go visit Joe Spatafor up at Union Parish on Friday.
Well, this Friday we're going over to Farmerville. We got Union. It's their homecoming. We know it's going to be a tough ball game. They're going to run the ball, try to blow their nose. So we got to see if we can be physical with them.
Looking forward to visiting with Coach Spat next week. They are all part of a docket that includes on Friday night Caldwell at Avoyles, Marksville taking on the Giants. How about Carroll again, Union Parish, Sterlington and Madison, and Richwood taking on the Wildcats. All right, 5A football. Friday night, West Monroe trying to keep that undefeated streak alive as they host Pineville. It is homecoming, which is capping off the game itself. A busy week of pomp and circumstance at that school. They do it up big time over there in Rebel Country, and they will all this week. But boy, I thought they looked good the other night against a relatively good Ash football team, Joey. They came by Cam Wright, got him in the end zone from 6 yards out early. Common, the quarterback, I thought looked pretty good. Had a little mishap right there, but and this football team's cruising right now on both sides of football.
Yeah, Garrett Commons is a heck of a quarterback, Gene. He was 9 of 13 the other night, 165 yards, and he ran one in also.
And you're also looking at some of the highlights, too. The defense coming up big. Nobi Harris had a pick 6, which is pretty sweet. That got him out to a 37-3 advantage. And like I said, they made it look easy down the road. Game of the week, perhaps, and many thought it was Ruston over at Ouachita. The Bearcats, neither team, I thought, as we look at some of the game highlights early on, man, kind of got into a groove. I know you guys were in Oak Grove watching that contest, but I was a little surprised with the struggles early on. We had a couple of botched fumbles. Neither team could really knock it in. Ruston finally did get it on with an early touchdown, and they both missed a couple of field goals. But anyway, that was a quality win that Ruston got with 20 seconds left in the ball game.
Yes, and you know, their defense was led by Joseph Evans, 11 tackles from the secondary and 1 interception. What a good night.
And they played that thing without Ray Parker, too. He had the stomach virus, so didn't even dress out or make the trip anyway over to Lyon Field. But a nice big win, and it certainly sets them up as they make the trip down into the Cenla on Friday.
I think they're fairly balanced on offense, which has given us problems in the past. You know, they've got 2 really good running backs, and then the quarterback is able to get the ball to a very good group of receivers. I think defensively their front is really good again, you know, so we won't be able to line up and just run over the top of them. So I think they're just a really solid football team.
Ouachita, like Ouachita Christian, is going to have to find a way to get themselves up off the canvas. It was a game that I think they felt like they had won, let it get away from them at the end. Had some good things happen as they continue to play behind Zach Shaw, their sophomore quarterback, got him an early lead, but man, when it came down to having to get it done at the end, the defense let him down.
With 20 seconds left on the clock, Gene, those kind of games are hard to swallow as a coach.
Well, they'll take their show down to Natchitoches Central on Friday night. Jeff, give us the preview.
They have a ton of speed, extremely athletic. running a little bit of a wing tee offense and getting after it, mixing in some 3-man, 4-man front on defense. They play extremely hard. They've had some really, really close games and got them a big win against Pineville this past Friday. So they're going to be a tough opponent, and we got to show up ready to play and get after it.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Again, 3 ball games in 5A this week. Pineville at West Monroe, Washita down on the Cane River, and Ruston taking on Ash. All right, everybody, commercial break. We'll be back to wrap this puppy up after this.
When you're thinking wings, there's only one place to go. Go Wings, where you'll find many unique wing flavors to choose from. Hot lemon pepper, bacon bourbon, garlic parmesan, buffalo ranch, and much more. There's hand-dipped corn dogs and fresh squeezed lemonade, too. And always make room for dessert, because the fried pies are phenomenal. Who can resist a fried apple or lemon pie? Open from 11 to late, 7 days a week. Go Wings. It's where to go for wings.
It's been a few years since my playing days.
Even longer for me, but the dedication to hard work,
the competition too, Dad,
has laid the foundation for the type of attorneys we are.
Our team at the Downs Law Firm is proud to support our local high school football programs.
All season long, you'll hear us on K104 Friday Night Scoreboard Show, and this year we're helping to raise money for local charities as part of our Game of the Week.
Winning on and off the field,
it's what we do.
Get in the game. Call Ross.
High school football in the Arklamas. It's where hometown legends are made. It's where loyal fans come together every Friday night. Some call it an obsession. At NBC 10, we call it a proud tradition. And no one covers your team like our team.
Everybody, we are back long enough to kind of wrap things up a little bit. Still got some meeting to do on a Wednesday night. Hope you'll come check out the great folks here at Go Wings, located right off of 165 on Desir and on the way out to the campus. Got some good football coming up. We talk about that, but we hope you'll join Ross Downs, Clay Parker, Joey, and myself on K104 Friday night from 8 to 10:30. That's after the game. But even beforehand, you can check us out on FM 105.7 and KMLB AM 540 for the new tailgate show. I promise you, nobody covers your high school football on Friday nights like we do.
I'm going to tell you, Gene, and that tailgate show is gaining legs. I hear comments about it all the time, and, you know, that's good, and it's good for the environment. We give back to the community.
We're raising money for a lot of local nonprofits and have donated well over $10,000 to a bunch of different charities so far this year. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Hope you enjoy Week 8. Man, hard to believe we're saying that. We put a couple of the games highlights this past week to music. So take a peek at that, and we'll see you right back here next Wednesday night.
Hey, catch it! Come on!
Quarterback keeper for James.